Welcome to the fourth week of your course. This lecture will talk about the operating system of a computer, which is the main brain of the computer. Most of this information is not something you will use every day when working with your computer, but it's good to know so you can impress your friends and your next employer. The operating system, also known as the OS, is a software program, but not like Word or Excel or Outlook. This software tells your computer what your screen should look like, which sounds to play when, what time to display, and even how to show the lecture you're watching right now. An operating system is like the middleman between the computer hardware and you. This is nice. If we didn't have a translator and had to deal directly with numeric code, we'd be in for a lot of work. Try to think of your OS as the software you need to operate the computer, and without it, hardly anything else on the computer will work or know what to do. There are 4 types of operating systems: real-time, single-user single-task, single-user multitask, and multi-user multitask. I'm going to give you a brief description of each of them. The real-time OS is designed to do things very quickly. It can't hold on to multiple instructions, but it can impress you with the speed of return. It's sort of like the difference between cooking in a conventional oven versus cooking in the microwave oven, but compared to other operating systems, it's on the small side. A single-user single-task OS is for only one user and only one task at a time. Think of it as a television with only one channel. This operating system doesn't take up much room on a computer, but it's fairly limited. You can't print a document and download a file at the same time. A single-user multitask OS lets a single user do more than one thing at a time, and this is the kind of operating system you're using now. If you have a printer, you could be printing and typing another assignment at the same time. Think of it as having a 6-burner stove, but you're the only cook. Finally, a multi-user multitask OS allows for many cooks and many stoves. I know this sounds like the best deal for an operating system, but think about how large the kitchen would need to be. Most personal computers just don't have the disk room to store such a large operating system, so these are reserved for very large businesses with entire rooms dedicated to computers. When computers were first invented, you pretty much had to be a programmer to use them. That's because all the instructions your computer received were through something called a command interpreter. Let's say you wanted to open a file and see the list of files on your hard drive. You would type something like C:*dir***, which means, show me a list of all files on my C drive. Pretty hard to remember, right? Today, you just point your mouse to My Computer, double-click, and presto, you see all your files. You can do this because there is a graphical user interface, or GUI. Moving from word instructions to graphics really helped the rest of us use computers more easily. The other term that was born with the GUI is desktop. The idea is that just like how in your office you would have a desk full of tools, your computer now has all of its tools on its desktop, like a calculator, recycle bin, or clock. Let's say you work at an office. If you used your stapler only once in a while, you might put it in your desk drawer. But if you use your stapler every day, you would probably have it out on your desk for easy access. It's the same idea on your computer. If you use Word every day, you don't want to dig around in your hard drive to find the program file each time. So, instead, you would have what's called a shortcut on your desktop. The shortcut is actually a link to the real program file that lives elsewhere on your computer. At the bottom of your screen, you might also see a taskbar, which launches and manages programs, and a Start button, which contains more shortcuts and opens folders on your computer. If you need more definitions about what's on your computer screen, refer to this week's reading assignment. Sometimes the software application you are using calls the operating system for help with a task. Let me give you an example. Say you are working in Word and you click the printer icon to print the file. Printing happens outside Word, so Word contacts the OS to take over the task. The operating system gets the message and displays the print window and takes it from there. What I just described is a system call. What if you have something so perfect in Word that you want to put it into an email to show your mom? There's a feature that's shared between software applications and the OS called a clipboard, which is a temporary storage space. Whenever you cut or copy something, it's on the clipboard. Now, when you ask the computer to paste, the last object you cut or copied will paste. You can use the clipboard over and over again, but the clipboard holds only the last thing you stored there. You can use this to move something around within the same document or take it to another document. As you can see, the clipboard is pretty handy and saves you from the trouble of retyping. Have you ever heard of computer utilities? Well, they're not operating system software and they're not application software, but they do add some extra functionality to what already exists on your computer. Picture a bicycle that works perfectly well, but you decide to add a reflector and a mirror on your helmet to make things a little better. The reflector and mirror are utilities for the bicycle. Computer utilities add some tricks to your computer. There are a wide variety of utility types, so let's talk about some of them. There are backup utilities, which periodically go through your computer and make an extra copy of all your files. So if you accidentally delete something, you aren't up a creek. Antivirus utilities make sure no nasty computer codes come down from your email and damage your files. There are also utilities that make sure nobody can jump onto your internet provider account without your permission. Another popular utility are screensavers. These utilities make sure that when your computer is on, but you're not using it, the screen isn't working to hold the image on the screen. Screensavers come in handy because some require a password to disappear, which can add some security to your laptop. And they allow you to add some personality to your computer image. Up until now, we've pretty much been talking only about Microsoft operating systems. They are the most popular, but there are others. Apple makes the Macintosh computer and operating system. And then there's something called Unix. Unix is different from other operating systems because it's designed for microprocessors with the C programming language. A newcomer on the scene, Linux, is a free operating system. Anybody can download it, and you can make a lot of changes to it yourself, if you know what you're doing. It's complicated and usually reserved for experts, but you should still know about it. Finally, there are different operating systems for different computers. Some operating systems work on personal computers like yours. Some work on servers. Some are specific for handheld devices like Palm Pilots, Blackberries, or electronic calendars. There are even operating systems for cell phones. Almost every computer you use has to have an operating system so it knows what to do.